As it turned out, Russia launched not one but two Oreshnik missiles at Ukraine, as was reported by monitoring channels. In the end, everyone is focused on the impact of just one Oreshnik strike in the Kyiv region, and there's a reason for that. The second Oreshnik missile, launched at Ukraine on the night of May 24, went off course and struck the occupied part of Donetsk region, where Russian troops are based. And this information was actually revealed by the Russians themselves. And on top of that, experts who studied the site of the Oreshnik attack in Bila Tserkva Kyiv region concluded that the missile is very highly overrated, and the damage it causes is comparable to that of several upgraded Shahed drones. It sounds crazy, I know, but I was shocked myself when I saw the results of the examination, so we've got a lot to discuss in this episode. My name is Alexei Peachy. Let's discuss this topic together, but before we start, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this episode, leave any comment under this video, and subscribe to my Telegram channel Peachy News. The link to it is in the description of this video. So, information is spreading online that on the night of May 24, Russian occupation forces launched not one but two Oreshnik missiles at Ukraine. However, the Ukrainian Air Force have so far officially confirmed only one launch, and not without reason. And before we get into the details, I want to remind everyone who was following the attack on the night of May 24 and point out certain nuances. Do you remember how all the monitoring channels reported the launch of the first Oreshnik missile, and half an hour later announced that a second Oreshnik missile was launched from the same Kapustin Yar range in the Astrakhan region of the Russian Federation? And back then, many people were surprised, saying, listen, if the first Oreshnik missile launch was detected but it never arrived anywhere, and then another one was launched after it, then where did the first missile go? But it seems that the monitoring channels were actually correct, and the first missile really was launched. Let me remind you of the chronology. According to monitoring channels, the first Oreshnik missile launch could have happened around 1 o'clock at night, Kiev time, but at first there were no confirmations of any hits. So this information seemed doubtful, and everyone kept quiet about it. The second Oreshnik missile was launched half an hour after the first one, and now, almost 2 days later, the Russians themselves are starting to publish a video showing the attack by that very Oreshnik. Here is that video. And in this video, you can clearly see those very 6 blocks with dummy warheads from the Oreshnik missile that are attacking. It would seem that these are the same kind of shots as the footage of the attack on the Kyiv region, exactly the same kind of impact. But when OSINT analysts started comparing the footage with the terrain to figure out from which angle this video was shot and where it was, it suddenly became clear that this video was not from Kyiv, and not even from the Kyiv region. This video, it turned out, was filmed that same night in the Donetsk region, specifically in the occupied territories of that region. As it turned out, in the footage of the release of the warheads of the first Oreshnik missile, the unfinished Rose Park shopping mall in Donetsk is clearly visible. From the video, it's clear that the camera is pointed towards the north-northwest, specifically in the direction of Avdiivka, Kramatorsk, Sloviansk, Izium, Volchansk, and further towards Belgorod. That is, the camera is turned towards Russia. It's not possible to determine exactly where the shell landed yet, but that's only for now, because as you can see, it's already been clearly identified. And it became obvious that the first Oreshnik missile simply went off course and hit the occupied territory where Russian troops are located. But what's even more interesting is the information about the Oreshnik missile that military experts revealed. According to the description by Russian propaganda, the Oreshnik missile with a kinetic warhead has enormous destructive power and strikes hardened underground targets and bunkers with tungsten rods. However, the review of the third crash site of this missile of these blocks tells a completely different story. Experts are already actively investigating the impact site of the Oreshnik medium-range ballistic missile blocks near Bila Tserkva on the night of May 24. And before that, the impact sites of the blocks in Dnipro and Lviv were investigated. And the thing is, after the third use of Oreshnik, even citizens of the Russian Federation have started to doubt the Kremlin's propaganda about the uniqueness and superiority of this weapon. Well, it would seem that the missile is supposed to penetrate bunkers, and Russians have already been told that an airfield was allegedly attacked in Bila Tserkva. The question is, why? And what is the purpose of attacking the airfield specifically with Oreshnik? What for? If it's to destroy the runway, you don't need to penetrate bunkers for that. Well, that's why doubts started to appear. And to keep deceiving Russians, propaganda came up with a story that the missile has super high penetration, supposedly hitting some secret underground shelters, which is why almost nothing is visible on the surface. So don't ask questions, everything is supposedly going according to plan. And now the specialized publication Defense Express writes that the size of the crater from the impact of a single Oreshnik block in regular soil was only up to 3 meters in diameter and up to 2 meters deep. So much for its penetration power. The size of the crater allows us to roughly estimate the impact energy that caused its formation. We're talking about an approximate range of 220,400 megajoules. Such energy. The impact is roughly equivalent to the explosion of 5,295 kilograms of TNT. Overall, this is enough to assess the consequences of such a strike, containing 36 blocks and a conditional equivalent of 36 Shaheds with enhanced warheads. While the nature of the damage differs, since the Shahed's warhead causes both explosive and fragmentation effects, the main point is that it's a very expensive missile. Oreshnik turned out to be just a PR project. That is, the same or possibly even more destructive consequences would result from launching 36 Shaheds rather than from the multi-million-dollar Oreshnik missile. And the difference is that in a year, Russia plans to produce about 5 Oreshnik missiles at a rate of 1 missile every 2 to 2.5 months. But to produce 36 Shaheds, it takes the Russians approximately 8 hours. That's the whole point of the Russian statements about some kind of superweapon. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. If you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you can do so with any donation using the links and details in the description of this video or by using the QR code on your screens. I will be grateful for any support. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.